people, welcome back to Star Victoria channel. If it's your first time on this channel, my name is Chioma. Thank you so much for stopping by. I'm super excited to have you here. Kindly subscribe and click on the notification bell so that whenever I upload new videos, you'll be notified. So my returning subscriber, thank you so much for your likes. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for always stopping by. I am super grateful. So today I bring to you another exciting tutorial is how to cut a crisscross fitted gown. Please like and share this video and don't forget to leave a comment. So let's get started. Okay, for the upper part of the gown, I'm going to be working with armhole princess dart pattern. I've already drafted a full front armhole princess dart pattern. If you want to know how to draft this pattern, I'll be leaving a link at the description box. So from the shoulder point here, I'm going to go in by 0.5 and I'll mark. I've also mark out my midpoint line for the both sides. So from the chest line here at the midpoint, I'm going to go down by 0.5 as well. And I'll mark. So I'm going to be connecting this point together. Using my ruler, I will connect this point to this point. You can see that my neck is a bit high. So from this neck point, I'm going to be going in by 1.5 inches. So I'll mark 1.5 inches from this neck point. I'm going by 1.5 inches. So I'm going to be forming a curve using my French curve, and I'm going to stop halfway like this. Then I will use my hip curve and continue and stop at my armhole darts. See what I'm doing? Okay, we're almost done. So the next thing I'm going to do is to close up my bust darts and I will transfer to the armhole. So I'm going to be opening this line up and I will stop at the mid bust point. Remember that this is chest line, bust point line, under bust line, and my front half length. So I'm going to close this dart and transfer to the armhole. So let me open up this line now. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to cut open the darts. I'm going to stop somewhere here, and this line is going up as well. You see? So I've closed the darts. So from this point, you will notice that our line is going in this way from the chest line, our line is going in this way, and from the underbust, our line is also going out. So here we have shortage. So what I'm going to do is to connect this line back to the chest line. So whenever you encounter shortage, just draw your line back to your chest line and you are good. See? So I'm going to be cutting off this part. So with my solo tape, I'm going to close the dart properly. We are almost done. So what I'm going to do next is to cut off this dart, and I'll cut off this dart out. Then I'll come back and show you what's next. Okay, I've gone ahead to cut out my waist dart. So you can see I've properly closed my dart using my solo tape. So I'm going to be cutting out this excess here. I hope you're seeing it. I'm going to be cutting out this excess at the side. Okay, for this side, I'm not going to use this side. I'm going to cut now from this point. I'm going to cut. So this side is what I'm going to be using. Just the side. This side I won't be using the side. So I'm going to cut from this shoulder down to the waist, and from this point to this point. Okay, so I'm done cutting, you see. So this is what we'll be using. So if I want to cut, I'm going to cut this two, as in for left and right side, and I will also cut this one two pieces for right and left side. So you see, so by the time we close up, we'll be having something like this. See? So I will be using this pattern to cut out my fabric. This is 2 yards of Ankara fabric, and I'll also be working with this lining is 2 yards as well. So please remember to add your seam allowance. For the side you can use, for this side you can use a 1.5, 1 inch, 2 inches, any one you are comfortable with. So here you're going to be using 0.5 inches. You are going to be using 0.5 inches for this side and also for this side to join these two pieces together and around the neck as well. So we'll go now and cut our down part of the gown. So I'll be showing you how to cut the down part of the gown. And for the center back, please, I'll be working with my basic bodice pattern. That is for the back. My back basic bodice pattern. That's what I'll be using to cut my back. And this is my basic bodice lock for my backs, for my center back. So this is what I'll be using to cut my center back. So let's go over to the down part of the gown. So I'll be using my lining to cut now, then I'll transfer to the Ankara. Okay, for the down part of the gown, I'm going to be working with length 25. That is the real length is 23 and half plus half inch for joining to the waist, that is 24, then 1 inch for folding, that's for hemming. making it 25 inches. So for my lining is going to be 3 inches shorter than the front, shorter than my Ankara fabric. So I've already marked out my length, which is 22 for the lining, but the Ankara fabric is going to be 25. Please note that. So this is my waist. So my round waist is, this is my waist line rather. My round waist is 34 divided by 4 is going to give me 8.5 plus 1.5 seam allowance is going to give me 10 inches. But I won't be adding any that allowance for the front. That is just the way I want it. So there won't be any that allowance for the front of the down part of the skirt, of the gown rather. So I'm going to be marking 10 inches here. For my hip depth is 9 inches. I'm going to be marking 9 inches here. This 9 inches include the half inch for joining to the upper part of the body. So this is the 9 inches here. I'm going to be marking my round hip on this, my hip depth line. My round hip is 44 divided by 4 is going to give me 11 inches plus 1.5 seam allowance is going to give me 12.5 inches. So I'm going to be marking 12 inches, not 12.5. I'm going to be using the half inch when drafting the back side. I will explain well when I get to the why drafting the back. So what I mark here is 12 inches, removing 0.5 inch. So for the down part of the for the down part, I'm going to remove 2 inches from the hip, and I will mark whatever that is left this down part. So when I minus 2 inches from my hip, that is the measurement I have here is 12 inches. When I minus 2 inches from it, I'm going to have a 10 inches. So I'll mark 10 inches here. So I'm going to be connecting these points now. I'm going to connect this way, and I'll also connect to my waist. I'm supposed to use my hip cuff for this, but I can't find my hip cuff right now. So I'm connecting this way. You see? So I'm going to cut out this part and use it to cut the front. Okay, I'm going to use my front to cut out my back. I've gone ahead to mark out my zipper allowance of 1 inch, and I also mark out my hip depth on my zipper line. As you can see, I mark out 9 inches there, and I also mark out my knee height, which is 18 inches as well. So from my hip line, I'm going to be coming out by 1 inch, and I will mark. Now this 1 inch is that 0.5 that we'll remove from our front while while drafting our hip. Remember, we remove 0.5, and that 0.5 is for each side. There is this side is going to be 0.5, and this side is 0.5 to make it 1 inch. So I am marking that 1 inch on my center back at the hip line. So this is the 1 inch here. So this 1 inch, I'm going to be connecting this 1 inch to my waist, and I will also connect to my knee height. This is because our back is not flat. We have buttocks at the back, so we have to create space for the buttocks. So I'm going to be connecting this point now. Please, while connecting, make sure that your curve is not that deep, unless the person you're making it for is that curvy. Okay, so this is it. I connect to my knee height. You see? So this is where our buttocks will sit, going to sit properly. So that is the essence of removing that 0.5 from the front. So I'm going to cut out now. See, and I'll cut through to the waist line. Okay, so I'm going to cut the sides now, the side now. Okay. So I'm going to be notching this part so I won't be confused which one is the center and which one is side. So I'm done cutting and this is it. So this is our center back and this is our center front. So I'm going to be using this lining to cut my main fabric, which is the Ankara fabric. Then I'll come back and show you the pieces I've cut out. Okay, I've cut out my fabrics. As you can see, I've gone ahead to iron and interfacing to each of the pieces. You see? So the next thing I'm going to do is to start joining my fabrics together. So for the sides, I'm going to be joining this side to this piece, and I will join this piece to this piece. And for the back, I'm going to hold my darts. I'm going to hold my dart on these two pieces and also on the lining. So I'll also join my lining. I'll also join this piece to this piece and also this. So I'll come back and I'll show you what to do next. Okay, I'm done joining the sides. So the next thing I'm going to do is to turn my lining, place my lining on the main fabric this way, right side facing right side. And from my neck, I'm going to sew from this point to this shoulder point and I will stop. So from this shoulder point, I'm also going to sew to this point where I notch. You see where I notch? This is where I notch. So I'm going to stop here. Then I will turn the lining to the back. I'm also going to do the same here. I will sew from this neck to the shoulder point, and from this part I notch to the shoulder point as well. I won't sew this side because I need to turn the lining to the back. So coming to the back side, I will only sew the neck, remember, by 0.5, and I will stop here. I won't sew the shoulder. So I will do the same thing on the other side. I will only sew the neck. Remember, it's right side facing right side. Then I'll come back and show you what to do next. Okay, I'm done joining the lining with the fabric, as you can see. See? Leaving the side open and the middle open. So the next thing I'm going to do is to join the center. So I'm going to be sewing fabric to fabric this way. See what I'm doing? From where I notch, I'm going to be sewing fabric to fabric down and lining to lining. I'm going to sew by 0.5 down. You see? This is the way I'm going to sew from where I notch down to my half length, and also for the fabric for where I notch, I'm going to sew by 0.5 down to my half length. You see? So after that, I'm going to join my shoulder the back and the front shoulder together. And for me to do that, I'm going to be placing my fabric this way. You see, lining to lining, lining facing lining. I hope you're seeing it. Lining facing lining. And for the shoulder, this is the way I'm going to place the shoulder. So I'm going to be placing the shoulder this way. I hope you're seeing what I'm doing. See my back shoulder. This is my back shoulder. You see? So this is my front shoulder. So I'm going to be placing this way. You see? And I'll use this lining to cover it. And I'm going to sew by 0.5 inch from this point. So here, I hope you're seeing. Then I'll sew down to my armhole and I'll stop here. And next I'll join the sides together, join to the down part of the gown, then fix my zip, and I'll come back and show you. Okay, I'm done sewing, as you can see. So this is my beautiful crisscross fitted gown. So this is the front, and then see, this is the back. I want to show you the inside. You see, looking so beautiful, clean and neat. You see the inseam finishing. You see the shoulder, see the neck. You see. If you like what you're seeing, please give me a thumbs up, share this video, and if you are yet to subscribe, please go ahead and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in my next video. Bye.